Alright, I'm gonna do a quick review of this Glock 19 Gen 5. Um, I'm just gonna go over some of the differences between this and the Gen 4. First of all, the main reason I wanted this, I finally wanted the 19 after all these years, was that I got rid of the finger grooves here and it fits my hand good. Because if you don't have real big hands or like the right size hands, it is like you can't get a good grip, I think, with the finger grooves in there. I don't know why, but they just like get in your way. And it's just a weird feeling. So that was a plus. I like that because I would have got a Gen 4 and then had to grind them off and stipple it and do all that. I just didn't feel like doing all that really. I figured I'd just wait because I heard this was coming out and I was about to get one, so I figured I'd just wait. So here's I'll go over the mag first. So these are some of the differences. The mag has an orange follower for one, so you can see better there, and if you look in the chamber when it's empty, you can tell that it's empty easier. The base plate sticks out farther on this side, so you can grab a hold of it and pull it out and strip the mag if you have to, in case it gets stuck in there, which I've never seen it happen, but I'm sure it has. So that's the mag. While I'm down there, I guess I'll go over the mag wells, flared. I'll put a grip plug in here, but the mag wells flared. You can kind of see the lighting in here isn't the greatest, but you can see the mag wells flared, and it has this cut in the front, which some people don't like because their pinky falls in that hole, but mine doesn't, so it doesn't really bother me. I took a Dremel and just like smoothed the edges out around here and around the mag well. Put this plug in here, a grip plug, and then just smoothed out that edge a little bit, so it's pretty much like a funnel now in there. Just goes right in. But it's better than before, and I kind of like the flare out mag well because it fits right in my hand at the bottom here is where it flares out, so it kind of like gets you a good grip on the gun, so when you pull it out or whatever, it's right away, it feels like it's in your hand good. And that's about it for the mag well. No finger grooves, which was a plus. I thought I liked that. I already said that though, but the front, this slide is rounded off at the front, kind of like the old Glock 26s were for a while. People were bitching because they didn't get that little bit of the frame right there, sticks out tiny bit past the bevel there, but you could sand it down a little if you really wanted to. Just play with polymer. After that, the light, the Picatinny, they made it a Picatinny size hole slot now. Used to be a smaller slot in there. Now it's like thicker, wider slot, so more lights will fit it, I guess, and stuff. Slide has the NDLC coating on it. It's shiny and blacker than it used to be, and it's slipperier too, but it feels good. The gun just needs to be like used basically. Once you get into it, at first I didn't know about it. I didn't know if I liked that coating and stuff because I thought it felt slippery because it was cold out when I was shooting it, but I don't know. These slides aren't that hard to rack, so it's really pretty good. But I kind of like to just be able to have a pistol, simple, basic, pretty much all stock for everyday carry. I don't really want to carry a completely custom gun for EDC just because the stock gun is probably more reliable almost, but especially a Glock. So the trigger, they got the serrations off of it. It's just smooth now. So I kind of like that better. I didn't like them serrations. The trigger on it is, at first I was like dry firing it, and I didn't really know if I liked it, if it felt that good. But like for some reason, you can't tell when you're just shooting it that it's, when you shoot it and dry fire it, the trigger's two different things. Like when you dry fire it, when you first get it, you're out there dry firing it, seeing what you think about the trigger. It feels alright. But when you shoot it, the trigger feels better than when you dry fire it. So the trigger's nice. You have to almost shoot it to see. The sight, the rear sight, is the notch is deeper and a little bit bigger. I like that because I couldn't use the old ones for shit, and these I can actually use, even though Glock sights suck. They're plastic. These are supposedly made out of stronger stuff, but they're still not metal. So I'd replace them with some night sights, Trijicon HDs or something. I just didn't do anything to this thing yet. So that's another thing there. The barrel, it has that marksman barrel in it. Still hexagonal rifling though, just supposedly improved. I don't know what that means, but the old Glocks were pretty as accurate as you could shoot, so I don't think it really made a difference for anybody that's shooting it, unless you're maybe a professional shooter. Probably even better than like Hickok 45 or something. You'd have to be pretty damn good to notice the difference, because they'll almost every handgun probably pretty much is more accurate than 99.9% of people shooting them. So making the barrel better, I don't think really made any difference. It's all about sight alignment and trigger squeeze, trigger pull, whatever you want to call it. So the next thing I was thinking is that has one pin through the frame right here, instead of the older 19s had two. This is similar to like a Glock 43. The way the internals are, they're pretty much just like Glock 43. Here's a Glock 43, and it has one pin and everything. The internals are basically the same. This was my carry gun. Look, the +1 is fucking about the same length. The Glock 19 is a 1/4 inch, maybe a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch max, bigger, and I think I even had it higher. I do. There, that's pretty close. You can kind of see though, it's not a very big difference as far as printing would be, but really in reality, it's not that much less of a pain in the ass to carry this as it is to carry the 19. It's about just as much of a hassle. It has an ambidextrous side stop on it, both sides, and I feel like for some reason it works better now than it used to. I mean, I don't usually just like let the gun run home with nothing in it, but I'll do it. I mean, you used to be able to like push on here and it would just feel like there was nothing there, and now you can get a good grip on there and just pop it right down, or you can just slingshot it. It just whatever you like doing. So pretty much, trying to think, they say this is undercut more than normal, but it really isn't from what I saw and compared. So that's pretty much the same as it was. And then internally, it's mostly the same on the slide. There are differences. I mean, if you want to get into the fine details, you can look at Such's video. He did the Gen 5 versus Gen 4 comparison. Or like a regular guy firearms channel, he goes in pretty detail with it, pretty good detail. But this is basically just like a Glock 43 inside, the way everything's set up, minus the fact that it has the ambidextrous safety on it. So that's about the only difference. And the stuff's bigger, obviously, because it's a bigger gun. Like, I'm at about 1,000 rounds with it now, probably give or take 50 or 100. I counted it up to like 750 or 800, and then I stopped counting after that. So I'm probably at 1,000. So I did have a couple problems with this thing, but it wasn't because of the gun. It was the ammo. I was running that tool ammo, that junk shit, because that was all they had, and I wanted to shoot. At Walmart, I was there getting ammo, and that was all they had left in 9mm somehow at the Walmart I was at. So I shot like maybe 250, 350 rounds of that junk through it, and it was when it was pretty new, and I had 2 bullets out of them get stuck in the chamber and not eject. Like, it was a light primer strike on them, and then it was stuck in the chamber. Like, I had to take the slide off the gun, take the barrel out of the slide, and pull the fucking complete hose the shell with the bullet still in it, with the primer was hit. Pull it out of the thing with the little pliers. It wasn't super tight, but, and then put it back together, and then I just ran brass through it ever since. Haven't had a single issue, and that was probably in the first couple hundred rounds. I think I shot maybe 50 to 100 rounds of brass through it first, and then after that I shot them 300 rounds of steel through it, or 350, and that's when I had the problem. It might even been like 400. It was a lot of steel. But I think it was like me and someone else were taking turns shooting it back to back, and we were like, one was loading mags and one was shooting, you know, like, so it was like 15 rounds, 15 rounds, 15 rounds, and then I was throwing the mags on the ground behind me, and they were loading it, and then I was handing them the mags, and then they were throwing the mags down, and I was loading them. So it was like 300 rounds to 400 rounds, back to back to back to back to back. So it was getting pretty warm, and it was at, I think it's lacquer coated, maybe steel case, Tula fucking junk. So that was pretty much it. That was the only malfunctions I had. I mean, other than that, it ran like a fucking champ. And I'm sure, I know that was the ammo, because that ammo is fucking garbage. And also, yeah, I got a Bravo concealment torsion holster for this thing, and it's real nice. It goes in and out real solid, locks right in, and it tilts it a little bit towards you, so it's not sticking out at all. So it's pretty nice. But that's it, I guess, for the Glock 19. Maybe after another 1,000 rounds, I'll do an update, make sure I didn't have any problems and stuff, which I highly doubt I will now that I'm running brass. Pretty sure it was that ammo, it was just complete shit. But, alright.